Snooker Loopy, not so we, me and him and them and me. We'll show you what we can do with a load of balls and a snooker cue. Pop the red stand, screw back for the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink and black. Snooker Loopy, not so we, we're all Snooker Loopy.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Snooker Loopy Podcast. Every day during the Crucible, apart from the one day we weren't there because Joe was actually at the Crucible, but apart from that, every day throughout the World Championship, we're bringing you daily updates about the snooker action. My name is Tom Mayhew, and I'm joined as always by my very good friend. He's got the X Factor. It's Joe Hannard.
Good evening, C-Matt. Good everybody. Oh no, I messed it up. I messed it up. It's because I didn't say good evening, Hazel. Good evening, everybody at home. I tried something different. That's what shows you, doesn't it, Tom? But yes, hello everybody. Welcome back to another Snooker Loopy podcast. And usually it's Tom that messes up the intro, and we have to do 10 takes. But in true Captain Goodspeed style,
you edit it out when I mess it up.
But when I mess up, Tom, because I never do any editing for my stuff, we're just going to plow on anyway. But how you doing, Tom? Enjoyed the snooker today?
It's been another fantastic day of snooker, mate. And we are actually recording during the good evening. It's 5 to 11 as we record this. We've just finished watching John Higgins again in his match against Xiao Guodong, which went to a third session. Or was it a fourth session?
The fourth session, yeah.
It went to a fourth session, sorry, because it was taking quite a while. But yeah, some of the best snooker of the championship so far today. It's been fantastic, and we'll talk about the players as we go through. But the performance of the day is Luca Brecel, because Steve Davis said it was the single best individual performance he'd seen during a session at the Crucible. And it's hard to disagree. Like, Ding got about 15 points in 7 frames, and Luca was just potting all sorts of like crazy shots. And because it's Luca, they weren't always the easiest shots, but he was just knocking them in. It must have been like what Alex Higgins was in his prime, and it was just crazy and incredible. And I wouldn't usually recommend people go back and watch a session when you already know the score, but genuinely, that session of snooker with Luca winning 7-1 against Ding, well worth a watch, just because Ding comes in with an incredible break of 140 odd, and you're thinking, okay, Luca's gonna struggle. But then, just for whatever reason, Ding couldn't get a look in, and Luca was knocking balls in basically off the ceiling. One of them probably bounced off Rob Walker's nose and still went in.
Wow,
astonishing stuff. Genuinely, I'd recommend people just look up that session, and it was quick as well because Luca was playing about 18 seconds a shot. So genuinely, if people didn't watch it, just look up that session, because some of the shots in there were sublime, absolutely incredible.
But unfortunately, even if he beats Sting, he's going to go out in the next round anyway, isn't he? So
that's why he's playing such gun-ho snooker, because he knows about the Ding curse. So
he does. He knows all about the Ding curse, and he will be going out in the quarterfinal, unfortunately for Luca. But another couple of standout performances today, Tom. Class of '92, of course. Mark Williams getting over the line against Hossein Vafai. His eyes might be gone. He might be going bald and all of that, as Rob Walker saying. But he's in another quarterfinal, Tom, and very well played to get over the line. Once again, finishing off with a century, just like he did against Wu Yize. And there's a strange trend in this tournament that whenever Mark Williams is playing, Lee Walker is commentating on him.
Is that just because it's like a 2-for-1 appearance fee or something? Like if they're paying Mark Williams to be in that round of the championship, then they get Lee Walker for half price or something.
It's just really bizarre, and I wonder how long they will keep Lee Walker commentating on Mark's matches. Like, if he gets to the final, are they going to just have him commentating on all of the final?
Well, I hope for everyone. I hope they have, Judd's best mate Jack commentating on him when he's playing, and maybe you could have Ben Williston commentating on his wife when she's refereeing, and just...
Yeah, Tatiana, yeah. Or you could have Ronnie O'Sullivan commentating on Ali Carter.
Yeah, or Ronnie Sullivan, who always enters Q School. He can commentate.
Yeah.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
I think I've seen Ronnie Ronnie Sullivan got to the final of the 900 this year.
Oh, did he? They were so snooky, the 900, because they did a big thing going, oh, the first player playing today, it's O'Sullivan. And they did a big thing about, oh, it's Ronnie Sullivan. And they were clearly basically just hiring him because he's got a similar name.
Yeah,
quite funny.
Absolutely. Yeah, but well, they are very much about the marketing, aren't they? Snooker Legends and all of that, who have broken off from WST now. So there's some rumours going round that next year's World Seniors Championship could have the class of '92 in it.
I just think that's gonna. I mean, I've got real mixed feelings about that because yes, it would improve the standard of snooker massively. But
what than Rodney Goggins in the first round?
Yeah, I mean, no offense to Rodney Goggins, but yes, you know what I mean. It definitely would.
The Wessex sausage, as we like to
part
call
of the charm of the seniors is the fact we can cheer on Rodney Goggins.
Yeah, and David Lilly, can be a world champion.
Igor Fredo, do you know what I mean? Like these players.
Yeah.
Frankly, Jimmy White would never have won the seniors if he was always against the class of '92.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, but I mean, speaking of class of '92, of course, we talked about John Higgins before. Went to a fourth session. He had a chance to win it at 12-10. Which he missed the black off its spot as he was clearing up, and then Zhao Gudong forced it to 12-11. They took them off because they needed to get the crowd in for the afternoon session. John Higgins again was 33 points ahead with 35 remaining in frame 24. Somehow, things went wrong. He not only ended up snookered, he then had to get out of the snooker. He hit the red went into the pink went in the middle pocket, the pink, when it was respotted, then covered the red, meaning that it was a free ball for Zhao Gudong.
He couldn't have done that if he tried. It was incredible. Yeah.
I mean, John was saying in his post-match interview, he was saying, the snooker gods never forgive you, and that's kind of proof of it, isn't it? But like John Higgins always does, he gets down in the deciding frame, knocks a long red in, and Zhao Gudong didn't get a chance in that decider. He always only won a chance in the decider. He didn't get it. And John Higgins gets into his third consecutive World Championship quarter-final, where, of course, he will take on a certain Mark J. Williams.
Like, it's a cliche to say you couldn't write it, but it's incredible, isn't it? Really, that those two are playing each other for a place in the semi-final. When every single year people write them off and go, they won't do it anymore. And Higgins has been out of form. He's dropped out the top 16, and Mark Williams on his eyes. And now one of them is guaranteed to be in the semi-final, which is pretty incredible, to be honest. And frankly, you'd have to make them favourite in the semi-final because they're so used to it. They're so used to those long sessions that you'd be surprised if they didn't have a good chance at least one of the class of '92 being in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at that bottom half of the of that side of the draw, and you've got Luca Brecel possibly going through against Ding Chunhui. I mean, what a match it could potentially be against Judd Trump in the quarterfinal, with the way Judd was playing the other day. I mean, that could genuinely be one of the best World Championship matches ever if they both play to their best and just, are going for everything. And I actually think Luca would scare Judd Trump a little bit. I don't think Judd's as confident as he used to be with his long potting and all of that.
If Judd saw any of the session tonight, Luca would scare him because honestly, the shots he was pulling off, it was like naughty snooker, but a consistency of naughty snooker that not even Judd has ever kind of pulled off. It was incredible to, as I said, restricting Ding to 15 points in 7 frames when he just knocked in a 1-4-5 break or whatever it was. bonkers, absolutely bonkers.
Well, put it this way, Tom. I mean, I didn't see it, and I cannot wait to go and watch it back. From what you've said, I'll be very disappointed if it's a scrappy session and you've just been making this all up.
Don't accidentally click on the Mark Selby Ben Wollaston match on iPlayer, mate. 'Cause that's
all
not
right.
the right
I've
one.
already endured that once, Tom. I don't think I need to do that again. It's ingrained in my brain forever. But obviously, you know, for that to happen, Judge would have to beat Sean Murphy, and Sean Murphy was playing some of the best snooker of the first round as well. I think that's going to be an absolutely cracking match, and I think Sean Murphy's going to be bang up for it. And you know, he's seen what's gone on. Lots of top players have gone out of the competition. Sean Murphy may well see it as being one of his best chances ever to get that second world title, 20 years on from his first. And obviously they kick off tomorrow, Tom.
Yeah, and incredible to see who will go through out of those two. I mean, there must be something about, you know, it being much harder. Not hard for players to get a second world title, obviously, because that wouldn't logistically make sense. But for whatever reason, that hurdle of getting to number 2, because obviously Sean or Judd are both on 1, and like, one of them's guaranteed to be stuck on 1 now. So it's...
Well, yeah, I mean, John Higgins had to wait 9 years for his second title, which is unbelievable, really. You know, Mark Selby didn't have to wait too long, but yeah, there's so many players that were stuck on one title. I think Alex Higgins holds the records between your first and second. That was 10 years. I think Mark Williams holds the record for between 2 consecutive world titles, 2003 to 18, so that's 15 years. So Sean Murphy could break both of those records very comfortably if he was to win the World Championship this year. And, you know, he's a big contender. I think, Judd's got a very good record against him, but Sean Murphy is a player that's not scared of playing anybody. So it should be a good match, that one. I'm very much looking forward to watching that. Another match that I'm really looking forward to seeing the conclusion of is the Lei Pei Fan Zhao Xintong match. Of course, Zhao 10-6 up against Lei Pei Fan, needing just 3 more frames. Can you see another big comeback coming from Lei Pei Fan?
Well, last time Kyron Wilson only needed 4 frames, and we all know how that worked out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't rule it out massively, but for a player to do it twice, you'd kind of go, okay, if he pulls it off twice, maybe we should just put his name on the trophy because he's got the luck of the Irish on his side. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'd be surprised if it happened. I think most people would basically be going, okay, Xintong's probably got this in the bag. I think especially because Xintong is much fresher than obviously Kyron would have been, I would say he's less likely to throw a lead away. So I still think Xintong will get over the line in that match. I'd be very surprised if he didn't. I mean, interestingly, I think Lei Pei Fan's 21. I don't know whether if he won the tournament, whether he'd be like the youngest world champion or not. But,
yeah.
It's apart from C, who got to the semi-finals obviously a few years ago. It's very rare that a player so young actually gets through to
yeah
later rounds. Apart from, last finalist would have been probably Judd when he first placed John Higgins back in 2011 or whatever.
Yeah,
it was,
and even then I think he would have been. Well, would he have been 21, 22 himself?
Yeah, I think he's 22 maybe.
Yeah. Judd must be in his sort of later 30s now, but obviously we had the start of the Sejar Ben Wollaston match, which is still going on as we are talking right now. It just seems to be a thing for Ben Wollaston that he likes late nights at the Crucible. 4-3 in that one at the moment. I think Ben Wollaston will be quite happy with that, actually, getting out of that at least 5-3, gives him a chance to hopefully find a bit of fluency in the middle session and really try and back up that victory against Brecel, because I think we said about it on the podcast yesterday, so often players have a big victory and then end up losing the next session 7-1 or 8-0 and just looking a little bit ridiculous. So I'm glad that he's at least competing in that match so far.
Yeah, he seems to be going quite decently, and I guess there's always a player who does well without knocking in massive big breaks and just by kind of grinding it out a bit. And maybe he's this year's Jack Jones. Who knows?
Yeah.
He's just gonna play that way. And if it works for you, it's probably a good idea, because frankly, he probably knows he won't outscore C, because the C at his best can steamroll a lot of players. So yeah, he's played his game, and as you say, I think he'd be delighted with it being quite close in the first session. Yeah, any other matches that were today? Have we covered them all?
Oh, well, I wonder. Ronnie O'Sullivan is the other big one. Ronnie, of course, started his second round match against Pang Jung-soo. Very quickly took a 4-0 lead. Very similar to their match a couple of years ago, actually, where Ronnie went 5-0 up and Pang came back at him a little bit. But that session ended 6-2. I have to say, out of all of the snooker I've seen in this tournament, that wasn't the most enthralling snooker. I think they were both making a lot of mistakes. Ronnie not being put under any pressure whatsoever, and I think that really did contribute to how average his performance was. But he improved a little bit towards the end. But 6-2 up, it's I don't want to say it's as good as match over, but if Ronnie wins the next session 5-3, he's 11-5 up, it's going to be very, very tough for Pang to get back into that, but it's not impossible. Pang did have his chances, and it could quite easily have been 6-2 the other way if he was at his best. So yeah, I don't know how much of that match you saw, Tom.
Every session, every frame, pretty much.
Every frame, yeah.
It's Ronnie, let's sit, let's watch it, boom. And yeah, it was strange, really, because as you say, Pang, whether it was nerves, whether it was his opponent, whether it was the fact he was in the second round at the Crucible, I don't know. But there was no pressure on Ronnie at all, as you say.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that well, especially I'd say nowadays, recently, maybe years ago possibly, but it's very rare nowadays where you get such a comfortable session in the second round. And I don't think anyone would have predicted Ronnie sort of... Maybe they would have predicted he would have been ahead, and maybe they might have said even 6-2, but the nature of how easy it was for him to be so is what was surprising.
Yeah, I think at one point Ronnie's pot success was 83%, and he was 4-0 up, which is crazy.
Ding being 7-1 down still had a pot success of about 90 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is just crazy sometimes how the stats lie. Ronnie potting the important balls in that match so far. Obviously, that continues tomorrow afternoon and finishes Monday evening, I think. So a three-day match. So Ronnie's still got plenty of time to find a gear, and I'm sure he will do. I think he'll be very, very happy to see how the C Jarwee and Ben Wollaston match is going as well. Nobody really finding any form. He's away from all of the really dangerous players that could just steamroller him. I think what's quite clear is that everybody on Ronnie's side of the draw are players that will probably be intimidated by playing Ronnie O'Sullivan at the Crucible. Whereas on the other side of the draw are all of the players that wouldn't fear Ronnie at all. So it's quite funny how that's all worked out. Considering we didn't even know he was going to be playing, just over a week ago. So
maybe he made a genius trick, and he's worked out, right, if I'm ranked, say, number 5 or whatever, I'll be on this the draw, and he's just deliberately.
But this side of the draw looked ridiculous. It looked impossible for Ronnie to get past the quarterfinals, and it's just all working out. And I mean, I you know, it's tough to say, but I think it would be a huge shock if Ronnie didn't make the final from this side of the draw. And I don't mean that in a way of it's going to be easy for Ronnie, but I think it would be a huge shock looking at the names, the other 7 names.
I think that people should go listen to an episode from probably about this week last year where we would have said the same thing, and then Stuart Bingham beat Ronnie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like
but Bingham's beaten Ronnie before, and I think that's what, you know, Bingham's beaten Ronnie at the Crucible before. Now, obviously, there's always a first time. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one because I can't see Ronnie making the final, but also you look on paper and think, well, how doesn't he? But we'll see. We will see. You know, it could be C himself that beats Ronnie, and I think that he's probably the favourite to beat Ronnie if indeed that was to happen. Over 3 sessions, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, let us know below if any highlights of your day, whatever it is, of Crucible action. If you've got anything that you really want us to focus on or mention or anything like that. Do we have any Fan Zheng email, Joe?
We do have Fan Zheng email. I'll read that in a second. Just want to sort of say what's coming up in today's snooker. We have got Lei Pei Fan finishing off against Zhao Xin Tong at 10 o'clock. Sean Murphy and Judd Trump getting underway as well. Ronnie and Luca once again in the afternoon session, and then Si Jiahui middle session against Ben Wollaston, and Sean Murphy's middle session against Judd Trump finishing off the day. Any highlights for you on day, what's it going to be, day 9?
Well, I'm very excited by Sean Murphy's middle session. That sounds fun.
And that's your highlight, is it?
Well, just a strange turn of phrase. I quite enjoyed it. But I do think Sean versus Judd is going to be the standout match of the day, and both players who obviously very popular, both former world champions, and whenever you have former world champions at the Crucible, it's always adds a bit more sort of a bit of excitement in the air, and I mean that's probably the first time this championship that's been the case. Obviously until Willow places Higgins in the next round, but it just makes you really feel, we're getting to the business end, and we're really starting to get closer to the final, and we're starting to see whose name might finally be etched on that trophy.
Yeah, it does always sort of run very quickly after the second round, because you have the sort of 2 days of quarterfinals, then you're into the semis, and then you're into the final, and before you know it, it's over for another year. But hopefully plenty more snooker to enjoy before that very sad moment. And then, of course, we have the seniors, don't we? So, it's not all bad.
And this year, me and Joe will be doing in-depth coverage of the World Seniors. We'll be doing 4 podcasts today, talking about every minute of the action, and we'll be chatting. I guarantee, I was saying it as a joke, but there'll be some listeners who'll be going, yes, I can't wait for you to cover the world. We can't. We can't, okay. We might do a preview and a review. That's the most we would probably do for the seniors.
Yeah. I think a preview's a bit much, Tom. But anyway, we will get into our Fan Zheng email. I've got 3 to go through. We've got some comments to read out from the YouTube videos as well. But first of all, we have got...
3 Fan Zheng emails, wow.
Yeah. We have got Chris Reed. Remember Chris Reed, Tom?
Yes, yeah.
Chris Reed...
did have very good Cue the Music.
Yes, he is joint top of our Cue the Music snooker league, up there with Snooker Loopy by the Matchroom Mob, Snooker Loopy by Sean Murphy, and King of the Crucible by Rob Walker. So they're all up there.
Banksy.
And Banksy. Yeah.
the solo Rob Walker version was not top on its own.
Yeah, the remix version, I should say. But anyway, he says, a very good evening, Hazel. Thanks for all the daily Crucible Roundup so far. They've been a pleasure to listen to. I have a couple of snooker-related things to share with you in this email. Having entered the event prediction contest for the Tour Championship last month, I was intrigued to find on the rankings board a certain professional player ranked 8th. This, as you can see in the following screenshot, is Jonas Luz. Now, Jonas Luz, of course, who we have quite frequently backed in Q School and all of that sort of stuff, I believe.
He's a popular shootout choice.
A popular shootout choice. He finished 8th in the Tour Championship event prediction. Meanwhile, Chris Reed finishing 6th there, so I think he's just showing off a little bit there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why he's sending that really in to go. I was 6th in what is frankly the easiest competition to predict because it's the smallest tournament, so really it's probably statistically it's the easiest one. But still, 6th is still really impressive. And hey, me and Joe would probably been 800th, so well done.
Exactly. I mean, there was only 650 contestants, so we'd have probably struggled to finish 800th, but we'd have found a way, Tom. We'd have found a way. Just a little one, little highlight moment. Ken and John in commentary today, and John had played a double, John Higgins, and Ken goes, "Oh, you always like to double, John," and John says, "Is it when you're paying, Ken?" So
lovely touch.
That was a cracker. Anyway, so Chris Reed said, I thought it was very cool to see one of the players on the tour getting involved in things like this, though I guess it's not like he was not involved in the tournament. Maybe next year, you never know. You never know. Maybe if he wins the shootout, he'll probably get a place at the Tour Championship. So there you go. On another note, I went up to Sheffield on the 15th of April to see Judgment Day Part 1, and it was a great experience. Between the sessions, I went to McDonald's for a bite to eat, about a 15-minute walk away, and none other than Jackson Page was sitting inside, enjoying a Mackey's, having just made 2 maximums in his previous match, of course. Sadly, I did not say hello, but it was a great moment nonetheless. I hope Joe had an excellent time at the Crucible. Absolutely did. Thank you very much for that. With many thanks for the podcast, Chris Reed.
I think thoroughly fascinating and a little bit grim about the fact you can make literal snooker history and then just be sat in a McDonald's eating a Big Mac.
Yeah, and nobody even bothers you. You know, it's crazy, isn't it? We had Alok get in touch as well, and he says, Fanjeng email. Good evening, Tom. Good evening, Joe. Good evening, Hazel. Hope you guys are doing good and enjoying the World Championship. We very much are. Good evening, Alok. Good evening, Rishi. Good evening, Jason. Anyway, just wanted to say that I'm loving the daily podcasts, although I ended up not getting round to them and then binge listening to all of them tonight. Well, that's almost as committed as Fionn was listening to Dominic Dale, I think.
I wouldn't recommend binging them. That can't be good for your health, binging this podcast. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. And you guys are doing a great job and hope you are enjoying / looking forward to your Crucible trip. So I think this was, it was before you listened to today's yesterday's podcast. Tournament is getting very interesting now, particularly the top half of the draw, which is very open if anyone feels like they could knock Ronnie out. And the bottom half is full of dark horses and big names. Hard to pick a winner. Absolutely. I think we definitely agree with that. Anyway, take care, guys, and make sure you avoid the DDK, brackets, the dreaded double kiss, for all you folks who don't know. All the best, Alok. And thank you for, adding in the explanation of what DDK means, because the DDK wouldn't be the DDK without DDK, dreaded double kiss.
Yeah, it's not the same about him. He has to explain it, otherwise it's not the full catchphrase.
And then Archie Smith has got back in touch. Thanks for getting back in touch, Archie. And he says, "Dear both, hope you are well. Lovely to have the podcast back up and running. It's something I look forward to on the weekend and when I come home from school every day. Also, it's great to know that you like F1 because the reason I sent the Murray Walker clip is that F1 is my other favourite sport, along with snooker as well. I just hope you're not a Max Verstappen fan, Archie. Anyway, today I was looking on eBay and found another couple of things to share with you. The first is here. Okay, I'm thinking we might keep this for tomorrow. These links, just as a cue the laughter, Tom, because I've got another thing to show you tomorrow as well, involving one of the players involved. Really enjoying the World Championship, although Mark Allen's 147 was on in the morning session when I was in school, so that was quite frustrating. And Joe, I don't know if this happened when you were there, but for the first session of the Selby-Wollaston match, Ben was introduced from memory as the flame-haired assassin of Leicester. Yes, he was introduced as that in in the second session as well. But now we've told Tom that, he'll probably introduce me as that tomorrow.
They're all assassins. They're always bloody the silent assassin, the flame-haired assassin, the whatever. He's obsessed with it. He's obsessed with calling them assassins. The silent assassin, the quiet assassin, the loud assassin.
The Assassin's Creed.
The space assassin, the sausage assassin. It's crazy.
Which is a striking nickname, to say the least. I agree with that. But not as good as the Lincolnshire sausage. Absolutely not. Thank you, Archie Smith. So thank you very much for getting in touch, Archie. And we will put those links for tomorrow's Cue the Laughter, along with something else that I've got to surprise Tom with. So there you go. But speaking of Cue the Laughter, Tom, we don't have a Cue the Laughter today, but we do have a cue the music. So shall we cue the music, Tom?
Cue the music, mate. And today's cue the music, it's a surprise I've got for Joe. And it's the first of a two-parter. And it's the other part of this two-parter we will save for later on in the World Championship. I thought we were about roughly halfway, so this is the first part of that two-parter, and it's something quite special that I managed to find that I think you'll really enjoy.
Oh, well, here we go then. So this is... Well, I'm not getting any more background to that, Tom, so let's just get into it, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
When they go
everlasting love. Wow, Tom. I mean, you have got me very, very excited for what is to come in part two, because I have a feeling I know what it's going to be, and I don't know how you've managed it, but wow. Have you got any story about everlasting love?
I managed to find a copy of it online, and I ordered it, and then I gave it to my friend in London, who's really good at sort of ripping audio from the vinyl, and I didn't know what quality it would be. Obviously, I just bought it online, and luckily, it seems like it's pretty perfect. I'm not going to say they definitely didn't play it, but it seems like it's pretty perfect quality. It seems like it's really sort of no sort of nicks, so bumps. So we've got a better quality version than Joe Johnson's own granddaughter, which is impressive.
Well, yeah.
You can really tell, actually, listening to that. Like the music, sort of the instrument is slightly more rocky, actually, than the version you will hear on the radio. So credit to Joe Johnson and his band, Made in Japan. They've put their own spin on it.
Well, maybe you can actually get it played on the radio now because it's good quality. So...
I will try my very best, mate. I will try.
Get him in the charts. So have you got the album and stuff?
Well, I've got both the songs, so we will have at some point during this World Championship Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Joe Johnson.
Which, bizarrely, Tom, that'll be our second version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
I mean, yeah, and in a sense, that's both too many, but not enough, I think.
Well, I mean, I'm going to call this Everlasting Improved Audio. Improved Audio, Joe Johnson, episode 64. Can you guess what episode we originally did Everlasting Love in?
Oh, I think it must have been relatively low, because it probably was before our Crucible daily ones last year. I'm going to guess 22.
Ooh, close. 18.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, Tom, I mean, that is amazing. What's the album cover art and stuff like that like?
Oh, it's got the picture of him holding the cue and doing sort of a really sort of like pouty face like that. It's got a real if you imagine a Joe Johnson poster from the probably 80s, it's kind of that, and it's I've not got it on me because it's still in London actually, but I'll have to find it.
That's fine, Tom. I will put it. I will overlay it on that cue the music so that people can see it. But well, that was a nice surprise. I'm very, very happy that I was worried it was another version of Everlasting Love, but it wasn't. It was the original and best.
Can you imagine if that started playing and it was just Dominic Dale singing it and you just
yeah. I mean, it could have been Engelbert trumpeting, for all we know.
You would have loved that.
But there you go. Thank you very much for that, Tom. Obviously, we have to give it a rating since it is a new song to listen to. It's improved audio, and I think this was a song, to be fair, that we wanted to redo anyway because we felt like we'd been pretty harsh on it last time, or at least I did. I absolutely love this song. I would 100% have this in Hanard FM on Spotify. I would absolutely have that.
And the big question, Joe, will you be adding it to your wedding playlist?
Well, if there's a DJ out there that'll play it, then they're the DJ for me. It gets a 10 from Joe.
Mate, I'm gonna bring a copy I'm gonna print it out on CD and bring it to your wedding and say to the DJ, can you play this? Can you play this, please?
And just embarrass me in front of everybody, but that's fine, I suppose. I'm giving it a 10 straight up.
I have to give it a 10. I can't not give it a 10. It's do you know what I mean? It's such a one, I genuinely think it's a decent cover.
Yeah.
But two, it's also like genuinely before this podcast, I probably knew the song Everlasting Love, but I didn't have any sort of strong attachment to it. I was like, oh yeah, it's fairly catchy, it's fine. Whereas now, whenever it comes on the radio, which seems to be far more often since we talked about it on the podcast, but it seems to always pop up on Smooth FM like once a week, and it always just makes me laugh. Just because I just go, oh, Joe Johnson, and it just
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it? And that puts it up into equal first with the other ones that we mentioned, which is very fitting that we mentioned all of them. And yeah, I mean, it's just it is a great cover actually of the song, and you know, I know we've sort of made fun of it, but it was a great little find, and well, I'm a bit concerned that the other song that's on there. Have you listened to the other song?
just to check it worked quickly. And I mean, it might not be a 10 from Len this time. I don't quite know. We'll see. We will see how it goes with that one. But I think what is
we'll have to
credit Joe
upload it as well because it does not exist, so it will be uploaded to the Snooker Loopy channel. And we are going to try and keep doing that. I know people have been really enjoying the Commentator Classic shots, so we are going to keep trying to sort of find all of these things online and put them in a central place so that people can enjoy them. You know, because there's just so many things out there, isn't there, when you revisit them, and they're so nostalgic, and you know, like the Dennis Taylor Steve Davis rematch from 2010. I'm still holding out hope that they might do that to celebrate the 40th.
They must do something in the final as part of the coverage. They must do, surely.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for that, Tom, because that was unexpected, to say the least. But yeah, thank you very much for that surprise.
It's all right, mate. I hope you. I mean, it won't be the last time Joe listens to it. I'm quite sure he'll be downloading it and putting it straight into his playlist.
Well, yeah. While we were listening to it, I was trying to work out how you download it from SoundCloud or wherever you've uploaded it to. So yeah, you'll have to send me a copy.
I will do, mate. Don't worry. I'll definitely make sure you get a copy.
Well, no, that's brilliant, and obviously we've got more snooker to enjoy coming up today. Obviously, we release these at 9 o'clock when we've recorded them the night before. It did make me laugh, actually, Tom, that you were saying we're recording this in the evening, because usually we're recording it in the early hours of the morning. That's what we have been doing to try and keep on top of it. So we're glad you guys are enjoying it, but do remain patient with us if we're not bang on time every day, because you know, certainly my Easter holidays are nearing the end now, Tom, so I won't be able to stay up past midnight anymore.
Well,
but,
and we do have to, you know, dedicate a lot of time to also watching the snooker. So
yeah.
For us to be able to watch it and to be able to properly give decent coverage, and to also for us to enjoy the World Championship, we can't be me and Joe can't be panicking too much about, oh, we need to definitely get it out by this time. So you'll get it when you get it, basically.
Yeah, and I know the vast majority of you, you know, are very, very appreciative of it. But as always, there's always a little minority that do bug, to say the least. But no, thank you very much for all of your support throughout the World Championship. We're nearly, Tom, at our target. We had a sort of private target of trying to get to 400 subscribers by the end of the championship. We are 23 subscribers away from that at the moment, so we are not far away at all. Obviously 500 would be the next big milestone, and then on to hopefully 1,000 and beyond after that. And it is like a big snowball, so the more that you guys can help out, the better. You know, leave a like, get involved in the comments, share it around. We really do appreciate all of the support, and glad that people are reveling in our nonsense.
I reckon when we upload that recording of Everlasting Love, I think that will shoot us past the 10,000 mark. I just think it'll take off.
I really hope it. I mean, to be honest, Sean Murphy singing Snooker Loopy has got multiple thousand views, so you've got to think that an actually recorded song is going to do really well. I'm excited to upload it, Tom. I think Might even do it scheduled for after this podcast has been up. So yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that if we just keep talking about it, eventually Joe Johnson will get in touch and he'll either fire some sort of restraining order against us, or he might come on the podcast. I don't know which one it'll be.
I really hope he comes on because I want to talk to him about if there's any other songs he's recorded that we don't know about.
Oh,
you know,
has he got a secret album?
Well, yeah. Yeah, he could well do.
He was commentating on BBC today, which was nice to hear.
Was he?
I'm quite sure he was. Yeah, he definitely sounded like him.
But
there's no way. I tried to look it up, but there was no way of actually seeing.
Which session was it?
I don't know whether it was. Was it Luca? Maybe was it Luca versus Ding? I'm not too sure.
Okay, I will. I will check that out because I'll be watching that tonight. But there you go.
I might be wrong because I know he's usually a Eurosport thing, but it definitely sounded like him. So
interesting. Okay, you know what, Tom? I am going to check that out right now because I know how I can work out who it was. Because right at the start of a session, they show who the commentators are. So I'm going to do that right now so that the viewers aren't in, beating down the doors to try and find out who it was. So, this is the moment. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? It's going to just be like John Parrott or somebody, isn't it? Oh, is it? I don't think it's actually popped up.
John Virgo.
And it's great to be joined in the commentary box by the 6 times champion of the world, Steve Davis.
Oh, it's Steve Davis, apparently.
No. Where was it then? Was it the second half of that session? Because they change sometimes halfway through, don't they?
Oh.
I feel like I've lost my mind now, and they're going to go, no, Tom. Joe Johnson's not been here for 50 years.
Oh. I'm so disappointed.
It wasn't. Hold on.
Yeah, Tom's lost his mind. If anybody can actually clear that up for us in the comment section, that would be greatly appreciated. Tom has actually lost his mind. He has made us waste 10 minutes of our lives that we'll never get back looking to see if Joe Johnson commentated.
I definitely heard Joe Davis on my TV.
Joe Davis?
Not Joe... Yes, Joe, I was watching it. It was Joe Johnson and Joe Davis, and they were commentating on Fred Davis against Ray Reardon. I definitely saw it, mate. It definitely was real.
See you tomorrow, folks.
Someone help!
See you tomorrow, folks.